A prevalent misconception exists among postmenopausal women, suggesting a natural and inevitable decline in sensual pleasure after the age of 60. However, what if this perception is a misinterpretation of the body's physiological request for a more mindful and gentle approach to self-stimulation? In my clinical practice, I have observed profound transformations in patients, moving from a state of shame to one of self-assuredness and body confidence. The subsequent benefits are often significant, manifesting as improved sleep quality, enhanced mood, and a renewed sense of somatic integration. Today, we will engage in a candid clinical discussion regarding the potential consequences of excessive masturbation and explore what truly supports your intimate health following menopause. Welcome back to the Female Health Podcast, a forum dedicated to calm, clear, and shame-free discourse on aspects of women's health that are frequently marginalized. I am Dr. Lily Stones, a gynecologist and intimate psychologist with 30 years of clinical experience guiding women through midlife and its subsequent phases. Today, we are delving into the clinical definition of excessive masturbatory behavior. To provide a comprehensive overview, we will discuss female libido post-menopause, how to differentiate between healthy sexual habits and compulsive patterns, and the best practices for ensuring self-pleasure is comfortable and physiologically safe for your body at its current stage. Indeed, research published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine and Menopause substantiates that sexuality in later life is both normative and meaningful, and that mindful tactile stimulation can positively support mood, sleep architecture, and body confidence when approached with appropriate care. Before we proceed, I would be honored if you would join our community. By subscribing, you are endorsing these gentle conversations that honor your pace, privacy, and inherent wisdom. If this episode provides value, please indicate so with a thumbs up and subscribe to ensure you receive future content. At this juncture, I must pause to acknowledge a matter of significant import. For a great many women, this topic remains a substantial, often unspoken burden. You may have been conditioned by maternal figures, religious doctrine, or societal norms to believe that autoeroticism is unclean, self-indulgent, or a behavior appropriate only for adolescents. This silence has been perpetuated across generations, and it can instill a quiet shame in even the most self-possessed woman. Allow me to state this unequivocally: there is nothing shameful about somatic self-knowledge. The actual harm originates not from the act itself, but from the silence and guilt that envelop it. When we fail to discuss these matters, we dissociate from our own comfort, our own pleasure, and frequently from our partners. I have consulted with women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who have articulated their questions with tears in their eyes, having never before voiced them. When I provided clinical reassurance that their experiences were not only normal, but also healthy, I witnessed a palpable release of tension from their shoulders, as if a psychological weight carried for decades had finally been lifted. Therefore, allow me to reassure you, woman to woman, you are not an anomaly in this. You are not strange, you are not pathologically broken, and you are certainly not too old. Your body remains your own, and it is more than deserving of care, touch, and kindness. For numerous women, the term masturbation still induces a palpable discomfort in any conversation. It is a subject that previous generations were explicitly instructed to avoid, and thus, the silence became a conditioned habit. Perhaps your mother's reticence on the topic taught you everything you believed you needed to know, that it was not a topic for discussion. Perhaps your religious institution labeled it as sinful. Perhaps you internalized messages that it was unhygienic, juvenile, or something to be abandoned upon assuming the roles of wife or mother. These cumulative messages culminated in shame. For many women, that shame has persisted well into their 60s and 70s, like a heavy coat they never intended to wear, but could never find a way to remove. I cannot enumerate the number of times a woman has leaned across my consultation desk, lowered her voice, and posed the question as if it were a confession. Is it wrong that I still touch myself? These are women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, women who have raised families, built careers, and dedicated their lives to caring for others. And yet, regarding their own bodies, they still feel a sense of transgression, like a young girl caught in a forbidden act. I recall one patient in particular, a 74-year-old retired teacher. Her presenting complaint was sleep disturbance, but it was not until our third consultation that she disclosed the true source of her distress. She stated, "I think I'm doing something wrong. I still touch myself. Not frequently, but enough to feel as though I'm failing somehow." Failing was her specific terminology, as if a private, natural human act could negate a lifetime of personal integrity. I looked her directly in the eye and told her what I will now tell you. There is nothing shameful about knowing your own body. The act itself is not the danger. The danger is the silence. The danger is the guilt that erodes joy and fosters the belief that you are broken when you are, in fact, whole. When we avoid these conversations, we sever connections to our own comfort, our own pleasure, and often to our partners. The longer we remain silent, the more challenging it becomes to envision change. But here is the clinical truth: you are not strange. You are not broken, and you are certainly not too old. Your body still belongs to you. It still responds to kindness, to care, and yes, to touch. And that touch, when approached with awareness and balance, can help you feel more integrated with yourself, not less. This is precisely why I encourage you to remain with me for the duration of this episode. Because what we are truly going to explore together is not merely whether masturbation can be excessive, but how you can discern the difference between a habit that is therapeutic and one that is detrimental. We will review the scientific evidence, discuss clinical observations from women just like you, and identify the practical signs to monitor in your own life. By the conclusion, my hope is that you will feel more informed, less burdened, and more confident. If you have not yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so now. Subscribing signifies your commitment to engaging in conversations like this one on a weekly basis. Conversations that are warm, honest, and profoundly respectful of your life stage. It means you are joining a community of women prepared to relinquish shame and embrace dignity instead. And believe me, you will not want to miss the subsequent sections of this episode. So, let us address the question for which most women seek a definitive answer. What does it clinically mean to masturbate too much? Is it defined by a frequency of once a day, once a week, or once a month? The reality is that there is no specific quantitative threshold. You will encounter opinions suggesting that a daily practice is excessive or that older women should abstain entirely. However, these are myths, not medical facts. The critical determinant is not the frequency, but its functional impact on your life. When self-stimulation is healthy, it results in feelings of comfort, relaxation, and greater peace. It may improve sleep onset, alleviate somatic tension, and elevate your mood. It integrates seamlessly into the rhythm of your life without detracting from other meaningful activities. That is physiological and psychological balance. However, when it becomes excessive, the indicators are different. You might find yourself delaying sleep due to an inability to stop, or avoiding social engagements in favor of solitude. You may experience physical soreness, genital irritation, or a sense of depletion afterward. You might even find the behavior is driven by restlessness rather than genuine desire, almost as if your body is operating on autopilot. That is not balance. It is a signal to pause and reassess. Consider this clinical distinction: healthy self-pleasure should function as an enhancement, not a replacement. If you are maintaining proper nutrition, achieving adequate sleep, enjoying interpersonal relationships, and engaging in joyful activities, then your habits are most likely within a healthy range. But if self-touch begins to displace meals, rest, or time with loved ones, that is when it may be tipping into a problematic excess. And here is a crucial point: many women in their 60s and 70s discover that the issue is not one of libido, but of physical comfort. Sometimes, what appears to be excessive behavior is actually the body signaling a need for intervention regarding vaginal dryness, sleep disturbances, or even loneliness. Once those underlying needs are medically or psychologically addressed, the habit often self-regulates. So, if you have been questioning whether your frequency is excessive, do not focus on a number. Instead, evaluate how the behavior makes you feel and how it integrates into your overall life. Therein lies the true answer. stay with me because in the next section, we will explore the surprising benefits that masturbation can confer after menopause. Benefits for your body, your sleep, and your self-confidence. If you have not yet subscribed, please take a moment to do so now. This will ensure you are the first to be notified when each new conversation like this one is released. Now that we have clarified the meaning of too much, let us turn our attention to the benefits. The reasons why self-pleasure can actively support your health post-menopause. The truth is, when practiced in a balanced manner, masturbation is not only safe but can be profoundly restorative. One of the most evident benefits is enhanced pelvic circulation. After menopause, blood flow to the pelvic region naturally decreases, which can contribute to vulvovaginal atrophy, manifesting as dryness, discomfort, and even urinary tract issues. Gentle, regular self-stimulation helps maintain the vitality of this circulation. It serves as a physiological reminder to the body this area remains important, maintain its health. Many women report that this simple act also makes partnered intimacy more comfortable. Then there is its role in sleep regulation. It is well documented that after 60, sleep can become more elusive, whether due to nocturia, medication side effects, or changes in the body's intrinsic circadian rhythm. Self-pleasure can help regulate the sympathetic nervous system, lower cortisol levels, and facilitate a transition into more restful sleep. While not a panacea for chronic insomnia, for many women it is a gentle, natural aid that promotes a sense of tranquility at night. Emotionally, the benefits can be equally potent. Allocating time to connect with your body, even in private, can elevate mood, reduce anxiety, and mitigate feelings of loneliness. It can help rebuild confidence in a body that may feel altered after menopause. It reaffirms that pleasure is still an accessible experience, not a relic of youth. Finally, there is the impact on neurohormonal pathways. While masturbation does not reverse menopause, it does help keep the body's hormonal feedback loops engaged. Endorphins, oxytocin, and dopamine, key feel-good neurotransmitters, are released during orgasm. These neurochemicals not only support emotional well-being but also contribute to relaxation and even analgesia. Therefore, when approached with care, masturbation is not a guilty secret. It is a clinical tool, a method for maintaining your health, sleep, and confidence. But, of course, as with all aspects of health, balance is paramount. That is why in the next segment, we will examine the other side. The risks when self-pleasure becomes too frequent, too abrasive, or too secretive. Before we proceed, if this discussion has been beneficial, please do not forget to subscribe. Subscribing ensures that these honest, respectful dialogues continue to be a part of your life each week. I promise you will not want to miss the truths we uncover next. We have discussed the benefits, but as with any health practice, balance is critical. So, let us conduct a closer examination of the risks. While self-pleasure is not inherently harmful, it can become uncomfortable or disruptive when the equilibrium is lost. The primary risk is physical. As we age, the integumentary system, including the genital epithelium, becomes thinner and more delicate. This means that excessive friction, particularly without adequate lubrication, can lead to irritation, soreness, or even micro tears and abrasions. Unlike younger skin, healing may be prolonged, so attending to comfort is essential. The use of a quality lubricant can be highly effective, as can a gentler, more measured pace. The second risk is emotional. For some women, self-pleasure can transition from being about desire to being about escape. Instead of a conscious choice, it begins to feel compulsive. You may notice yourself resorting to it out of boredom, stress, or habit, even when it no longer provides a sense of satisfaction. That shift from chosen to automatic is a clinical red flag. Not because the act itself is wrong, but because it may be masking deeper psychological needs such as loneliness, unresolved grief, or an anxiety disorder. There is also the issue of secrecy. Many women report feeling guilty, particularly if they are in a relationship, and worry their partner would not understand. When masturbation is concealed and shrouded in shame, it can create interpersonal distance rather than connection. Conversely, when acknowledged openly and honestly, it can actually enhance partner intimacy by demonstrating that sexuality is still valued in its various forms. Finally, there is the risk of it interfering with daily functioning. If you are experiencing sleep deprivation, avoiding social activities, or feeling more drained than restored, it is time to pause and ask, is this behavior still serving me, or am I serving it? Thus, the message is not that masturbation is dangerous. It is that any behavior, when performed in excess or secrecy, can begin to detract more than it contributes. Recognizing these signs early allows you to make adjustments before it becomes a burden. And remember, this is not a conversation you must have in isolation. Discussing this with your physician or gently with a trusted partner can provide clarity and relief. In the final part of this episode, I will share practical clinical guidance, how to know when to see a doctor, how to modify habits safely, and most importantly, how to approach this private aspect of your health with dignity and confidence. Before we transition to that last segment, please take a moment to subscribe if you have not yet. Staying connected means you will always have a place for gentle, shame-free conversations like this one. So, what is the clinical takeaway? We have discussed the benefits, the risks, and the truth behind the concept of too much. Now, I want to provide you with practical, actionable guidance that you can implement after today's session. First, practice somatic awareness. If self-pleasure leaves you feeling calm, relaxed, and more at ease, it is likely serving you well. However, if you notice soreness, irritation, or fatigue, that is your body's physiological feedback requesting that you slow down. Utilizing a suitable lubricant, adopting a softer pace, and incorporating rest days can make a significant difference. Second, observe your behavioral routines. If masturbation is integrated naturally into your life alongside nutrition, sleep, social engagement, and other valued activities, it is in balance. But if it begins to displace these essential components, it is time for reflection. Sometimes, what appears as excessive behavior is actually a symptom of loneliness or stress. Addressing those deeper needs often restores balance without requiring the complete cessation of what feels good. Third, do not hesitate to consult your physician. If you experience persistent pain, dyspareunia, see blood in your urine as hematuria, or have abnormal discharge, or notice significant changes in libido that cause you concern, these are clinical signals warranting a medical evaluation. A competent physician will not pass judgment. They will help you find safe, respectful solutions. And finally, remember this: you are not broken, and you are not too old. Your body is still yours, and you still deserve to feel connected to it with dignity, confidence, and curiosity. Masturbation after menopause is not about indulgence. It is about self-care. It is about reminding yourself that you, as a whole person, still matter. So, I encourage you, if this conversation has alleviated some of the shame you have been carrying, if it has provided clarity or simply made you feel less isolated, please subscribe. Subscribing is more than clicking a button. It is a declaration of commitment to a community of women who are ready to move from silence to self-respect. And I would be honored for you to be a part of it. Before we conclude, I wish to pose a question to you. Have you ever wondered if your habits were healthy? Or have you felt uncertain, but too embarrassed to ask? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. I personally review every single one, and your story may help another woman feel less alone. Thank you for being here, for giving yourself the gift of this time. You deserve peace. You deserve comfort. And you deserve to feel at home in your own body, regardless of your age. Until next time, take excellent care of yourself.